Hello, I'm talking today about the Crusades, and it's nighttime, and right there in the background you could see a crescent moon. Actually, you can't see it too well in the video, but trust me, it's a crescent moon. Crescent moon's a symbol of Islam, whereas the cross is a symbol of Christianity. Cross, crux, in Latin, crusade, that's where crucifix comes from. It's a Latin word that means cross. So the crescent versus the cross, or the cross versus the crescent, the two symbols of what happened during the Crusade. And actually, there's a pretty good video series that's called that. That I wanted you to watch a little bit of to check it out. The Crusades, as you watch in the video and as you read in the book, are these series of wars that lasted over a long, long period of time, decades and decades. And different kings came and went, and different places in Europe, Belgium, France, England, what's now Germany, the Holy Roman Empire. All these people fought against the Muslims in the Holy Land. So it was a series of different people coming and going back and forth. And the Crusades are really, really important. And as I mentioned before, it was for a lot of people, it was a really, really important opportunity to do something for God, to fight for God against the bad guys. And of course, for the Muslims, the Christians were the bad guys coming in, and for the Christians, the Muslims were the bad guys. And it was that was just how they did it. It was, but both sides believed that God was on their side. Well, here's the thing, though. It wasn't just Christians versus Muslims. That's not what the Crusades was 100% all about. Because when the Crusaders went through Europe to get to the Holy Land, some of the people they attacked were the Jews who were in Germany, what's now Germany, and other areas along the way. Of course, in Jerusalem, the city that used to be the capital of the Jews until the Romans conquered it in the year 70 and banished the Jews and scattered them all over in the diaspora. We learned about that earlier in the year. But there were lots of Jews around the area that the Christians that coming from Europe did not treat very well. And of course, the Muslims didn't like the Jews either. A lot of conflict there. So the Jews became a target on both sides. And then as one side, there were some issues too with the Muslims, with the Sunnis versus the Shias. Muslims in the Crusades were fought all over the place, not just in the Holy Land in Jerusalem, what's now Israel. Also, they were fought in Egypt, in Syria, in parts of Turkey. The Crusades were fought all over the Middle East in that area. And so it wasn't just Christians versus Muslims. Sometimes it was one Muslim group, the Sunnis, versus the Shia Muslims. Sometimes it was one group of Christians from Belgium, for example, fighting against some Christians from England in the Holy Land. Some of the Christian knights from Europe were trying to establish, some of these people were trying to establish their own feudal system empires in the Holy Land. So some of them were not quite always focused on doing what they believed God wanted them to do. Sometimes it was the three G's. God, okay, that's one of them, but also gold and also glory, right? That's the three G's, God, gold, and glory. But, it is what it is, and that's what happened in the Crusades from time to time. First Crusade, Christians go over to the Holy Land, and it's a victory. For the most part, most of the Christians were successful in driving out the Muslims from Jerusalem, from that area of the Holy Land. Jerusalem, though, is going to be retaken in the Second Crusades, and then the Muslims are going to have to brace for the power of three powerful European kings who are going to fight in the Third Crusade, and that's Richard the Lionheart from England, Philip Augustus from France, and Frederick Barbarossa from the Holy Roman Empire, and we'll get into those guys' situation here later on. Anyway, you definitely want to learn about the Third Crusade. That's a cool one. That's a really neat one. It's going to set up Robin Hood that we're going to learn about later on. Anyway, hey, enjoy, have a good day, and I'll talk to you tomorrow.